Hi all, welcome to the webinar on telemarketing, telesales and telecalling. Right. My name is Kishore Shankar Narayan and I represent Alma Mater. To know more details about Alma Mater, yeah, these are all the links, right, which will be provided to you. And on the chat box as well, like you have all the links, you can just go click on any of the links and right if you're on any of the social media, right, you find us and like all the details are available about Alma Mater. Now, just to give a brief on what Alma Mater is, Alma Mater is a training solution provider. Alma Mater started in the year 2004, and ever since then, like we have trained over 500,000 individuals across different streams, right? So starting from 8 standard or 10 standard students, right, till right professionals, right, getting into their jobs or maybe right post their jobs into the corporate world, behavioral aspect trainings. If you're in school, colleges, if you're right in companies, right, last 16 years you might have come across us in one way or the other, possibly. So as I told earlier, to know more about us, you just have to go on, click on these links, and this links will provide you the details. And further to your, I mean, these links, if you have any kind of questions, queries, feel free to contact us through any of these mediums. And right, we are definite to answer your questions. Right. Do visit us on almamater.co.in for more with the company's details, and for if you have some specific requirements about courses, right, amsparks.com is the place where you need to just go ahead and do it. Now, here, right, few years back, like we launched a program called Sparks. Now, this program has been aimed at raising knowledge and skills, basically to enhance, right, your regular, uh, academics and work life. Most of the times, like what happens is like we get into the right regular academics, or we get into a company for working, or we have our own businesses. But then what happens is there is a lot of enhancement within our personality that is required. And this program was launched for that particular purpose, to just provide support on any kind of knowledge enhancement or skill enhancement that you need to have to perform better, right? To live sustainably and right, just go ahead with a smooth life. Now, with this initiative, right, we have been carrying out right regularly webinars, and these webinars, right, are free for people just to understand per particular topic. If you have any kind of topics that you would like to understand about, please let us know, and we will definitely work around it and provide you those details when the program can be conducted. If you have a group, right, these programs can be customized according to the group as well. Now, talking about today's webinar, right, it's going to be right telemarketing, telesales, and telecalling. The whole idea is with these regards, when it comes to telemarketing, telesales, or telecalling, most of us have this preconceived notion that yeah, all these are the same. You just need to call, and anybody who picks up the call is trying to sell something, or he is trying to buy something. You feel like the moment you receive some kind of telecaller calling you, right, you don't even want to hear the person. Now, if you right feel that way, the same way the other person would feel when you're going to call somebody. So let's have certain clarifications, and based on that, we will know how to go ahead. If you yourself want to call somebody for any reason, for that matter, it can be just providing information about something, or actually you want to sell the product, right? We will know the differentiation, and we probably will understand. And any questions that you have, right, don't forget to store it, and we will answer it at the end of the session, right? Or do right. I mean, if you're watching the recording of this, just message to us, and we shall take care of it from there, right? Any kind of questions you have with regards to this. Now, I want everybody here, right, to just keep up their book, pen ready, so that whatever is spoken, right, you are ready with your notes, taking down the notes, because that's very important. Your understanding is where, like, and your efforts is the right thing to take you ahead when it comes to any kind of communication which comes through the phone. Now, please note down everything that you understand, and if you don't understand anything, feel free to ask us the question, right? And rather, like, if you're live now, ask me the question, and we should be able to answer you the query. But noting down your understanding enhances your understanding. That's very important, and it also, right, helps you remember things. Now let's understand. The first thing is understanding the difference between, right, telemarketing, telesales, and telecalling. Now, when you talk about telesales, the first thing that you have to understand is here you are attempting to sell the product, right? Here we have mentioned it as customer, but then it's like everybody who is on the other side of the phone is going to be your customer, right? It's just like you're attempting the process, like whatever you want to sell, right, you are going to use this term, telesales. Telecalling is generally for a conversation over the phone where you just exchange the information, where, right, you provide certain information, you gather certain information from the other person, right? And based on that, like, you will take it to the next level. Now, whereas all apart from this, like when you talk about telemarketing, it's clearly the process where you call the customer over the phone, introduce whatever product you have, right? And when you have to introduce the product, remember the most important part is you should know the product. And to know the product, you should research the product. And when you research the product, make your own notes, as I told earlier. All the notes you have, go deep into it, right? Whatever is, right, the product's feature, please note it down. Whatever is the advantages, please note it down. Whatever are the benefits of the product, please note it down. So I want everybody to note down three things. It's called as FAB, F-A-B. Does everybody has the pen paper? Anybody can answer? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So please note this point, right? When you talk about product, it's like you need to have something called as right, feature, advantage, and benefit. It's called as FAB, F-A-B.
Sir, please repeat.
FAB, F F is for feature, right? A is for advantage, and B is for benefit. So for example, like if you're going to be right with Alma Mater, and if you're going to right, if the course is your product, right, you should know about the course in details, right? You should know about the feature of the course. You should know about the advantages of the course. You should know the benefits of the course. Now, the differentiation between all these three, we will be covering in details, but then in some other videos. When you talk about feature, advantage, and benefit, right, till the time you don't know about these things, how are you going to present it to others? That's the whole idea. So telemarketing, the first part is like when you're going to introduce the product, you need to know. And to know the product, you need to dig deep into feature, advantage, and benefits. Now, to create interest, right? We saw the other day, right? What all things we need to do. And if you're watching the recording for this particular session, right, please go through our session on selling ideas. Now, there are 5 videos which you need to go through, and any idea you have, you should be able to sell those. Just go to the playlist, and all the videos are available. Just go through them, and how you can create interest or how you can sell your idea. All the things are explained out there. Now, apart from creating interest, right? And now you use telemarketing to create the interest as well. Apart from, as I told, creating interest, you will have to qualify him or her or whoever. So the prospect, that means, right, whom do you sell the product? For example, if you have a course, right, which is for, which is 11th standard mathematics, okay, but like you're talking to somebody who has already crossed, let's say, their graduation, right? You want to sell it to him, 11th standard mathematics. If somebody is already graduated, would you sell it to him? Anybody?
No, no, sir.
No.
No, sir. No.
What you have to do is you have to qualify that person, right? Whether that person is eligible for this product, what you're right going to talk about is there or not. And based on that qualification, you will start filtering. So it's like you have, let's say, 100 phone numbers that you're going to talk to. Out of this 100 phone numbers, not all this 100 phone numbers would qualify for the same product which you are going to sell. If you have multiple products, right, you have to analyze that which product suits whom. So according to their qualifications, right? Now, for example, if you're selling an insurance product, right, not all insurances are meant for everybody. It's like some insurances for people, right, who are right below 18 years of age. Some insurances are for above 18 years of age. Some insurances are for retired people. Some insurances are specifically for those people, industry-based people, where who are working in a certain industry, right? So based on different variety of qualification of an individual, you sell the product. Banking accounts, right? You have, let's say you're selling gold accounts, or you are selling, I mean, name does not matter. It's basically like you have to see that whether the person can really afford your product or not. Same way, no, affording is only one part of it. You also need to know that whether the person is right, meets all the different criterias that you have met for. So qualifying that person is very important, right? Whether to sell or promote your product. Moreover, one, or you just call them, right, to fix an appointment for introducing your products or for creating the interest. Or you're just calling them and say that, okay, are you available to know more details? I'll just send things across, go through it, and like we can fix an appointment. So telemarketing consists of right from beginning, right, introduction of your product or fixing an appointment till right selling of the product, right, can be done through phones also. So but then telemarketing is specifically related to right just to get to know the person or just to right have interaction with them. You want to do certain things. These are, it's a pre-planned call, just to put it very clearly. And always remember that whether you're doing telesales, telecalling, telemarketing, right, you are not selling over the phone. There are a lot of things that you need to do. Though we call it as telesales, but remember that if you are going to sound like you're selling the product, nobody is going to buy because you are not physically in person present there. Uh, so you need to be right actually working on things. Now, for example, like let's do the latest thing that the phone is going to come up with in the next few years time, right? With metaverse of Facebook being launched, or with Amazon working on right different conceptual uh, products which they're introducing, right, with Tesla working on electric based communication system, right? So there are so many different companies which are working on just to enhance the right telephone right, productivity, for example. Now with the launch of 5G, right, the fifth generation, it's going to be furthermore, it's going to be more virtual. You would be able to, right, there would be some phones which will be able to virtually have that person in front of you. Now we are just going to through on what say video calls, right? Telecalling can be done through video calls also. The telecalling can be done through, it's the whole communication system, right? In the future, it's going to be the virtual, like you will be just clicking the buttons and then like virtually there will be a 3-dimension figure of that person, right? Which where you will be able to speak to that person. So all these things phones are going to do it, but then it will take time. To begin with, you have to remember that whenever you're doing any kind of telemarketing, telesales, or telecalling, you are not selling over the phone. Now the first thing that you are going to do is called as a prospecting part. Now when you talk about prospecting, it's a process by which you're identifying the right person to approach. Like earlier, what we saw, we have to qualify that person, right? So to qualify that person, you are going to filter your database. To filter your database, like you have been given so many people to talk to, or so many numbers you are going to call, or so many people have shown interest in certain products. So you're slow and steadily, right? You will start filtering the product, right? Filtering the person and whom you are going to approach to sell at the final level, or whomever is, or send it across to the person who is going to sell the product also. Now, when you're filtering any person, right, you need to have the qualification criteria. So there would be certain parameters that you would be always keeping as a checklist. So I want you to note down one more thing, right? Keep a checklist. Now, everybody understands what is checklist? Checklist? No? Okay. Let me just give you a brief, like what can be a checklist. A checklist can be what are the things to do. Like for example, right, you will have the criteria. Select any course, Reshma. Can you select one of the courses?
Or data science.
Data science. Okay. So now for data science, right, what you have to do, you have to prepare a checklist. Like let's say to take this course, what are the things that are required? So first you will say that, okay, the person has to have, right, completed, for example, 12th standard, right? So 12th can be in any stream, science, maths, or arts, or any stream, right? So you are qualifying that person based on first is 12th, whether the person is 12th or graduate, right? You can keep any qualification. Second qualification, right, for them to have the data science course is the person should be, right, having a laptop, to their own laptops, to or any computer system, to whether they have that easy access to them, right? The third criteria can be the person should have some kind of interest in, right, mathematics or analytics, right? He should be right, getting to know about what, it's not like they need to be professional about it, but then there has to be some kind of interest, right, to work around in. Same way, like you will say that, and okay, the product cost is, for example, 55,000 rupees. So you should be able to see that whether the person is able to afford that 55,000 rupees or not. So if it is going to be $1,000, so you have to be like, okay, this is $1,000, whether this person can afford this $1,000 or not, right? So you're making the criteria. So whether the person is 18 years old or not, whether the person has done their graduation or not, or let's say a HSC or not, whether the person is, right, looking out for something in analytics or not. So this kind of checklist that you will prepare. So while you're putting down the criteria, you will just check it up. Like you will just, let me just do this. So you're going to tick mark whatever is the, right, like criteria. So you have 5 different criteria. So what you will do, first criteria fulfilled, second criteria fulfilled, tick, third criteria fulfilled, fourth criteria fulfilled, fifth criteria fulfilled. You're getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you will do the checklist. Same way, like if you're going to, let's say, qualify some school or college for a particular behavioral training. So whether the school has 8 standard and above students, that is first criteria. Whether the school has let's say 25 students at least. I'm just giving you an example. It can be like 2,500 students. So we might have the criteria that, okay, the school should have at least minimum of 100 students to qualify for this, any plan. Same way. So you will do this checklist. You will prepare a checklist before even qualifying that person. Identify those checklists and keep it. So every time, right, you're going to call somebody, right, you will just go through that checklist and say the person qualifies for this. Okay, done. If he's qualified, you send it across to the next person, or you right funnel that person down to the or right next level. Yeah, so you will have, let's say, 100 calls to make. Out of 100 calls, you'll find a lot of people, right, who would say interested, not interested, interested, but this is not interested. If this is the case, so there would be so many things, so many criteria, right? If it is going to be, for example, if your teachers are available in a particular area, from there you'll go to the right. You will know that your teachers are available only in, for example, Bombay. So you'll prepare. Teachers are available in Bombay. So you will do the checklist. What is the question? It's a type of questionnaire while you're conducting survey. Exactly. Right. Tanushri madam, thanks. It's a type of questionnaire that you will keep as a checklist, and you'll follow through with that same questionnaire that you are filling. Understood?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So now, as we were just discussing, telemarketers play a very key or important role in productivity of any sales. Now, if you're a selling organization, if you have a product, every organization is a sales organization. But then when you talk about specifically who are focused on sales, right, telemarketers play a very important role. Now, when you're talking about, right, whether they are just fixing appointments, right, or they are, right, qualifying people, or they are, right, just moving ahead with, right, introduction of the company, introduction of the product, right, all these things, right. Now, this is the reason telemarketers play a very important role is the person or right, you are a telemarketer, so, and you're also doing telesales. If you have to save your future time, right, on doing all this work, right, the telemarketers will just funnel it down and then go ahead with doing the next level. So saving the next person's time is very important, same way as saving your own time. So you will be just funneling down as so these are parts of prospecting when you talk about. Now, in general, when you talk about prospects, you can be qualified or identified on many criteria, but like following are the most regular criteria, right? The person should have a need for the product or services that you sell, right? Even if he has a pressing need that, yes, he needs your product, but then there should be a cost benefit relationship, whether the person can afford it or not, or the person would he be able to justify the cost or not. Same way, right? The product, every resource that is necessary, right, to have the product, the prospect should have. So you're qualifying that person based on all the criteria. Clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Now, there are different types of prospects. And let's talk about the successful prospects. So when you're funneling down, right, you will be, right, okay, this person is the right person to sell the product. Now, how would you, now when you're talking about successful here, it's not the right person which I just spoke about, right? When you talk about successful here is, right, these are the people who are already, they have, right, it's like they own their company, or they are proprietors, they are big businessmen, They are like VP of a company. They have reached a certain success parameters, right? They have already, right? So there for them, right, the most important aspect again will be the time factor that you're, all right, and getting their appointment itself becomes a big deal, right? So you have to be very precise when you say that, okay, you will call them at, right, 7. Like for example, first time you have called and said that, okay, can I call you at 7 or whatever time you have mentioned. If the person has said yes, right, you call them at 7 sharp. If you're told them that, like, okay, you'll call them at 4:30, you call them at 4:30 sharp. Now with these people, right, it's pretty difficult to and challenging to get the time. But then, like, if you keep following up on time when you're calling them up or talking them up, right, you will be there. So you need to be absolute professional, not only following time, but also maintaining you have to maintain your own system. You have to maintain, right, respect their systems also, their way of right working, their working style, your working style. So both, it has to be absolutely professional. So it's like a professional to professional dealing that will happen. So if you're going to sell a course to somebody who is already, right, working, right, it's it is a successful prospect for buying that that course. You're getting the point. So you have to be professional, they will be professional. So all these discussions, right, has to be maintained with on that parameter. Understood? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, and the next, right, is a prospect who is going to be a problem or who always has a problem. Or they, right, it's not, they always have the problem. I should not be using that part, but then it's like they tend to have certain kind of problems, right, with uh, a thing to be solved. For example, if there is some kind of question, some kind of things that needs to be solved. These are the people who keep on procrastinating. Now, when you talk about procrastinating, these are the types like who will say, okay, I'll I'll do it. I'll decide tomorrow. I'll decide in the evening. I'll decide next week, right? So it becomes very difficult. So they are not able to decide for whether they need the product or not. Okay, so they will keep on postponing their decision, right? That's what the procrastinating type are. To succeed with them, you will have to regularly reassure them that they are doing the right thing, whether they're giving an appointment or whether they're just going to say yes for anything, right? You have to continuously, every time you have to keep on telling them, oh, this is a good for you, this is good for you, this is good for you. So you're assuring them continuously, and you will help them to decide, right? Let's say at least have the product. I'm sure that this product is going to work for you. At least you just have a look at the brochure that I'm going to send. So these are different kind of things that you will keep on reassuring them. So whether you're going to send the product, at least see. You don't have to buy, at least see what it is. You don't have to buy, at least meet the person. Let's at least have a Zoom call. Let's at least do things. It's like you're continuously meeting them, you're helping them to decide, right? and it's at times it keeps on taking time for continue. So in whether it is successful prospect or prospect with a problem, right? The follow-up is the key. With successful prospects, being professional is the key, along with the follow-up part. And with prospect with a problem, right, your follow-up has to be more of a reassurance part. So if you want to note it down, just if one word for each, you say for successful prospect, right? Write down, right? Being professional. I mean, be professional. And with prospect with problems, continuously reassure them that they are doing the right thing. So reassure is the word for prospect with the problem, and professional is the word for successful prospects. Okay. Now going ahead with the next type is like those prospects who are satisfied. So generally they are friendly prospect. They might have bought some product or the other or services provided by your company, like now existing students, right? Yeah, they are one of the prospects for. Now that's exactly one of the things that we need to work around. For example, if we have a student who is of 10th standard, till the time, right, the student graduates, goes to a job, right, makes a career, right, picks up a business or anything. So continuously year after year, right, if you take care of them, right, they will be satisfied prospects. So all those satisfied people, right, will be your target when it comes to satisfied prospect. They might have heard about your company, somebody might have told about them, somebody, when you call them, they'll say, oh yeah, Alma Mater, I know, I have done this with them, right? Anytime, right, whether you're calling somebody who is already, right, worked on uh, with the company, you never know. So these are all like people who will always have a positive attitude towards you and your company, right? So when they have that prospect, right, positivity towards your company, pull all the positivity from them, take them as your uh, prospects. And what you need to do is this, right, you need to use them as, right, your references. So when, like in one of the videos, like we are speaking about third party stories, right? These are the people, right, who become your true party stories. You know, so you will talk about them, all the satisfied people, to others, to bring in satisfaction to others also. You got it? Yes. Hello? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So these are the prospects where you collect all your true party stories, right? Find them, collect them, and right, ask them and resell them or cross sell them the product. Okay, they will also provide you reference of their friends, relatives who they want to have. Now coming to the next is the negative prospects. Now, these are most dangerous prospect because they might have had some bad experience with somebody, not necessarily you, right? Like for example, if somebody is there, right, who has taken up, right, a course, mathematics course with some other company, or they have, right, it can be anything. It might be the most popular company in the country, but from there they have the bad experience, and because they have some kind of bad experience with them, what they think is every company is like that. For example, like right, we had one of the person when telecalling was happening, right, about Alma Mater, right? So where we had a person, right, who told the telecaller that you are the person who keeps on calling every day. Now what happened was the person was calling the prospect for the first time, right? Example, like here it was the student's father. The student's father was receiving the calls for, right, taking up an online course every day. He was receiving the call, and he was, right, talking about that how bad we are, and we were calling them for the first time. Somebody else has been calling them. His son or daughter, they put their details on some marketing list, and everybody has been calling them. He has been receiving calls after calls, but then he feels that it's your company which is doing that. So our experience was that way. So from one level to the other level, we had to speak, and then we had to make that person understand that we can put it on our do not call list to them, but we cannot put it on everybody's do not call list then. You got it, everybody? So negative prospect can be, right, there will be always some somebody who will have this kind of setup. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Anything that you have not understood? All clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So coming back to the final, this prospect, negative prospect, remember that whatever you're going to say, they are going to say no. So what you need to do is you have to use fact benefiting after fact benefiting after fact benefiting, right, on this prospect continuously to break their defense mechanism. And for fact benefiting, right, if you have attended our previous sessions, you will know about it, or go to the how to sell the idea. That also will help you to understand the fact benefiting, right? Especially for those people who are going to watch recording, please go and watch the fact benefiting recording. It will help you to handle all this negative prospects. So moving ahead, the key to success in telemarketing is you have to identify your prospect and, right, you use the right approach. Okay. Whenever you are talking, right, keep your mouth wide open. It cannot be like, hello, how are you? You're just keeping, right, you're trying to talk, but you're talking very lightly, or you're trying to murmur. the voice does not transmit properly on the other hand, right? Same way, right? If you're into a smaller room, it will start echoing. So you have to identify where you're talking about, right? Talk clearly on the phone. Now, maintaining a 4-finger distance between your mouth and the mouthpiece, that is the place where you have your, let's say if you have your headphones, right? There is a section, right, where your speaker is, like from where the voice goes. In most of the phones, right, the speaker section will be just a small hole, right, which will be there on the phone. So you have to maintain a 4-finger distance minimum from that hole, right? And most importantly, always smile when you talk on the phone. You know, you can, if I'm on the other side of the phone, I probably, because I've been right into this industry for long enough, I can actually tell the person is smiling or not. So, and that is, if remember, right, if they receive calls every day, how experienced the other person is going to be. So if you're going to smile, by default, that person is going to understand that you're smiling and the person is going to smile back. Right? This is one of the most used tool. It's called as the mirror. So wherever you have your workstations, don't forget to see yourself. And whenever you see yourself, don't forget to smile. Right? Sit comfortably. Right? It's very important. Right? Everybody knows to smile here? Yes? No?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, right, don't be serious all the time. Smile. It's always helpful. It always is, right. You might have, right, a million things to do, right? You might have a lot of tensions. It does not matter. Smiling, right, at least will reduce your tensions. And same way, right, you would not pass on your tension to others. They also have their own tensions. They also have their own problems. So understand that, let them deal with their problem. You deal with your, let them deal with their problem. You deal with your problems. But then, right, if you are smiling, that other person is also going to smile and you should be able to, right, get whatever you want as the information. Do not arrest your body language. That means, like, do not, right, yeah, do not sit. Let me just, so you're sitting very stiff and you're calling and you're like, you're arresting your body. You're not flexible enough, like while talking, right? You're not moving your hands, right? Then it becomes very, you become very stiff. It becomes difficult even to smile when you're arresting your body. So do not do all those, right? Relax, be in a relaxed position, right? Talk to them, right? And you have mobiles. If you're going to use mobile, you can always use, right, a bit of walking to talk. That's fine, right? But then, right, keep your regular exercises ready every time, because like if you are going to, right, breathe heavily, walking 10 steps and talking, even that is going to be difficult. So remember that, do not arrest your body languages. So you are going to absolutely relax, right? Your muscles, your face muscles specifically, right? Don't be too serious. Smile, relax. Everything will fall in place. For that purpose, you need to believe that it is going to fall in place. And once you believe it's going to fall in place, you're good to go. So that is one. Clear with this, everybody? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So continuing, right? Do not munch or chew any gum while talking, right? Do not breathe hard, as I told you earlier. Show plenty of enthusiasm and energy, right? Over a period of time, by the time like you are reaching, like first call, you will be enthusiastic. Second call, the battery. It's like draining the battery, right? Your battery goes down and down. Don't do that. It has to be like the battery has to be charged all the time when you're talking. So use your enthusiasm. People should consider you mad when you talk about enthusiasm. He's mad because he's always happy. Have you seen people talking to themselves and being very happy? Yes. On the road, you might have seen somebody, right, who keeps on talking to himself and right suddenly smiling. If you're walking on the road, if you see somebody smiling, what would you do? Anybody? So let's say if you see me smiling, what is your reaction going to be?
At first, we will think, why are they smiling? But later on, we'll think, okay, some positive impact will be there.
And what would you do?
I would smile back.
You will either smile back or you will also smile the same way that the other person smiled, and right, even while you're thinking what is the other person is going to do, automatically won't a smile fix on your face,
Yes, sir, right.
right? Let's say you're walking, the other person is coming, and when the other person is coming, right, the other person is smiling at you, right? You automatically smile back, right? Or and like if the person is just moving ahead and calling out your uh, name and just keeping on walking, he smiles, calls out your name and keeps walking, what would you do? You will smile. If you don't know that person, even then first you'll smile, second you'll move around and see, do I remember that person, right? You'll and move ahead,
Right.
correct? So these are the things, that's the reason it is going to be right infectious. Now this is about face to face, you see it practically, but then when you're on the phone, right, it's right, if you're laughing and if you're enjoying, right, you're enthusiastic about it, right, you transfer the same enthusiasm to the other person, right, and the other person also reciprocates in the same way. So if you smile, the other person is going to smile. If you're on the phone, I'm talking about, remember that this is all on phone. If you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah. Hello, what are you doing? And like, if you're going to be like, God, did you hear what's saying? Yeah, you're chewing gum and you're doing things, you're munching something. All this, right? The other person's brain also works when the person hears. Right? I'll give you a very simple example. Now, let's say I have this headphone. Everybody can see,
Yes, sir.
right? Can this be this portion, right? If you see in the camera, can this go into your ears?
No, sir.
Yeah, because this headphone is not meant for the earphones. So this headphone is something called as the bone induction. So if you see, there is this bone, right, through which this is connected, and right through the bone, right, I can hear things up when I use this headphone. So I don't even need the right ear sections. Through the bone that the voice gets transmitted. So if your system, body system, is so intelligent that it can hear things through the bones also here, right? Remember that how much infectious, when you're showing enthusiasm on the right call, the other person will also show. So you say smile, relax, you crack on jokes, the other person is smiling, there is a pause. All these things is going to transmit the right enthusiasm into them. So it's always important that you be enthusiastic about what you are doing. Always be happy. Nothing is going to go wrong, right? Because things which are going to go wrong will anyway happen. You would not have control over it. So you might as well be on the side where like things are always going right. So you'll just keep on pushing one step at a time. You will keep adding value to your system. And from there, you will take it ahead. You got it, everybody? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Now, the next part, which is called as a well-prepared script. So there is something called as a buying process and a selling process, right? And the short form of that is like order pick and read. We'll go through that next. If you know the buying and selling process, that's it. So you prepare your script according to the process, and from right, you are good to go from there. You don't need to worry much about it. Understood? So far? Yes?
Yes, sir.
And this last line is the most important line. The reason it is most important is, right, it's about learning what kind of objections that keep coming. So you have to, as a team, right? So as a team, so you will have a lot of other people who will be also calling or who are not calling, who are right working with you, your teams, or right, who are working in the company, who are giving reviews, all this, they will probably like have a lot of objections. So whenever you come across any kind of objections, right, how to solve those objections is what you need to figure out and be ready with it. And how will you be ready with it? Keep a right notebook, or maybe write a notepad on your phone, right? Take notes that, okay, this is the objection. And for that objection, how you solve that objection. Like we spoke about, right, third party story where you said that feel, felt, found. Right, that section we spoke about. Here, every time, right, there is an objection, note down and make it as a feel, felt, found statement. So, and then when you're doing that, one, your feel, felt, found will be very strong. Second, you will be able to handle any kind of objection subconsciously because you have practiced it so hard with feel, felt, found. Understood? Yes. Anybody there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So this is very important. So keep talking to all those people who are around you, associated with the company, right? Get feedback from them, or you just tell them that, okay, this is the objection you faced and what is the solution for that, right? And when you find the solution, put it in the feedback, feel, felt, found format, right? And note it down, because that's very important. Because when you note it down, right, it stays in your head. If you're just talking and just moving ahead, it does not stay in your head. Clear? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.